Welcome back to the Holler. Good morning. Don't usually do these on Saturday morning, but I got something to say, so I just wanted to hop on, say hello to you all. We are Holler, and tnholler.com is where you can find us at the TN Holler on all the platforms. We also have Hollers hollering across the state thanks to your support. Big shout out to Elisa Parker. If you're buying or selling a home in Middle Tennessee, do it through her. And if you need a lawyer, Abby Rubenfeld is very supportive of us. All right. So by now you've all, I hope, seen that there is a project happening in Nashville. It reeks. We were told by the Tennessean last week that this tunnel idea is mostly popular. That does not seem to be the case. So we need to question what we get told by the media. There was a hearing about it this week at the Capitol, and everybody who showed up was against it. Not a single person showed up to speak for it. And yet here is the Tennessean article saying Elon Musk's tunnel idea is popular, but huge questions remain. And then there you can see highlighted over here is mostly popular. Drill down into how they came to that conclusion. Basically, they talked to 3 tourists, David Case of South Carolina, Kim Hearn from Texas, and her traveling companion. And they thought, oh yeah, sure, why not have a tunnel? Because they don't have to live here, deal with the fallout of it. And actually, most of the Tennesseans that they talked to, most of the people who actually live in Nashville, did not like the idea. But yet their conclusion was it's mostly popular. Well, I can tell you it is not mostly popular from what I've seen. The basic gist is Elon Musk's Boring Company, described in this article this week in Bloomberg as $900 million flop. Most of their projects have fallen apart. Call it bids to nowhere, rarely leave the drawing board. The Vegas project was done with a machine built by a Canadian manufacturer that they're rebranding. And in Vegas, by the way, which is being held up as this like success story by the people who want this project, they have only completed 4 operational miles. And it's like connecting hotels to the airport. So it's all for tourists and business people. It is not what they promised, and it's gone slowly. So 4 miles in however many years, like this is a 10-mile Music City loop that they're talking about. How long is that going to take? They want to keep saying, oh, no cost to taxpayers, no cost to taxpayers. Well, we already have a cost to taxpayers. We're giving them a free parking lot that they're going to do whatever they're going to do in, whatever other costs. We know there are costs associated with it. And then what happens when something bad happens? And by the way, in article about the Boring Company, they talk about how the New York proposal, if you look on the bottom left there, the proposal had made no accommodation for basic and legally required elements of the tunnel design like ventilation and fire exits. So this company went to New York to pitch a tunnel. Their designs had no ventilation or fire exits. This is what we're dealing with here. The Boring Company is Musk's company. It's run by a guy named Stephen Davis. They had an event here this week in Nashville. Timeline here, we started hearing whispers of this like last week. Then suddenly there was this launch event happening on, I think, Monday or Tuesday. And then suddenly Thursday, there was already a vote on giving them for free a parking lot to stage their tunnel from. Things do not happen that fast. After the flooding in East Tennessee, it was months before there was a special session because they had to line up their whole voucher thing. But when it comes to a billionaire who's the richest man in the world, things move really fast. And I think that really should tell you all you need to know. Again, no matter if you're Democrat or Republican, like it just shows you where Governor Lee's priorities are, where our government's priorities are, how fast things move when rich people want them to move this fast. Within a couple of days of even just hearing whispers about this, they were having a launch. None of Nashville's reps were involved. Justin Jones, whose district the airport is in, was not told. Charlene Oliver was not told. Afton, and even, and for our Republican friends, should trouble you, Senator Pody, he represents the airport district and like further to the east, he wasn't told. Was a lot of business people. I was there. I got in for a second, then they kicked me out, as they do, and the media didn't say anything about that. Speaker Sexton was there, Governor Lee was there, and it was being run by the National Airport Authority, and we kept getting told this is a state event. But then the people who were blocking Justin Jones from coming in were saying, oh, it's not really a state event. It was mixed signals. But what was clear was that it was a state event because the media RSVP'd to the governor's office. The governor spoke. The speaker was there. The Nashville Airport Authority person said it was a state event, and yet they did not allow Justin Jones go into the event. That's going to lead us to where we're going with this and connecting the dots on some of this stuff. This was Justin Jones being blocked from the event.
Yeah, let's step back out here.
Okay, so right there is Nathan Buttrey. That's the guy that we just got some news about this morning. And that's part of what has me in here feeling like that Charlie Day meme. The red string is going all over the place, and I'm not even sure what's happening where. This guy, Nathan Buttrey, works for Altitude Ventures, director of corporate development. And he was there for some reason with the power to keep Justin Jones, a state representative, out of a state event, physically blocking Justin Jones, this guy, Nathan Buttry. And so that's one of the guys blocking Justin. This is who we came to find out, Landon Gibbs.
She wasn't on the list.
She is on the list.
Okay, he's saying that Senator Massey was on the list. She was not on the list, as she admits to us right here.
That's because I filled in for the lieutenant governor.
So her name wasn't on the list, yet she got in with a +1. Her husband was not on the list. Landon lied. Okay, so she was there controlling things, and she says this is a state of Tennessee TDOT event. So they're keeping State Representative Justin Jones out of a state of Tennessee TDOT event.
She just said it's a state of Tennessee event.
This is not a state.
Oh, quick lie from Landon.
Who are you with?
I'm literally a volunteer
Who are
trying to
you
help.
with?
I'm just helping for the day. Literally.
Who are you helping?
I work for the registration table. That's
You're
it.
not here for fun.
Yes, I am.
You're not here for fun. Yes, I am. Wouldn't identify himself. Well, we now know Landon Gibbs, managing partner of Altitude Ventures. Here we have Marsha Blackburn's son, Chad, posting about this event with a lot of hashtags. I mean, somebody needs to tell this dude to chill with the hashtags. He tells the story that standing beside Steve Davis, who is the CEO of the Boring Company, Musk's company, and my good friend, Landon Gibbs. So now we know Senator Blackburn's son is good friends with Landon, who wouldn't identify himself and told us he was just volunteering. Managing partner at Altitude Ventures, as they announced the first of its kind project, the high-speed tunnel. First of all, it's not first of its kind, as we know, because it's in Vegas. But anyway, directly to downtown. Okay, how did it happen? Here's the origin story. One day, Landon was stuck in brutal Nashville traffic. Instead of just complaining, he took action and cold called Arun Prakash, the CFO of the Boring Company, kicked off a series of conversations that led to today's milestone event. So according to Senator Blackburn's son, Landon is not just a volunteer. This was his idea. This all started because Landon was sitting in traffic one day and just said, hey, let me call my friend Arun and see if we can get a tunnel dug under the city because I don't like sitting in traffic right now. Forget that all of Nashville wants public transit and more options for everybody. No. Landon's in traffic. Landon needs a private tunnel for Teslas only. And oh, by the way, let's see if we can get a stake in it for Altitude, right? Okay, so who is Altitude, right? What is this company? Funny you should ask. So Altitude Ventures was started by a man named Clayton Mcwhorter, who has passed away. Rest in peace. He started this. It was a family office, former chairman and CEO of HCA, which I think is Hospital Corporation America, pillar of the healthcare industry. Mcwhorter started this company. Now, does the Mcwhorter name ring a bell to you? Because it should. Clayton Mcwhorter is Stuart Mcwhorter's father, is Governor Lee's Commissioner of Economic and Community Development. A state employee, his father started the company that is behind the tunnel project. There's some questions that need to be asked about that, I think. First of all, does Stuart still have a stake in that company? I don't know. Fairly incestuous and certainly worth asking questions. Also, Chad seems pretty excited about this. Is he going to get hired? Is there some Blackburn stake in this whole thing? Was Marsha the link to federal government where we know Elon has spent a lot of time lately? And by the way, Steve Davis was involved with the Doge stuff, which Marsha had a lot to do with supporting it. I mean, she's certainly a cheerleader for everything that goes on up there, no matter what it means for Tennessee or Nashville. I'm not even trying to get into the tunnel and is this the right thing for Nashville? Like, do we like the idea of a tunnel? A lot of skepticism about the tunnel itself, geological parts. I hear about limestone and karst and sinkholes and caves and rainfall. Like, yeah, all of those are valid questions. By the way, is this taking the place of high-speed rail? And would we rather have that? And all of those are fair questions. And all of those are questions that should have been answered before this started, before there was a fence around a parking lot in Nashville where they are already starting this project without the support of anybody in city council, the mayor, state representatives, without any input, without any questions being answered. What I'm trying to get at is the process stinks. Forget the project. Before we even get to the project, which people are going to have questions about and be smarter than me, but I can tell you, the process stinks. The Commissioner of Economic and Community Development, his father's company is behind this whole thing. And the guys that are in it are lying to us about who they are, hiding their identities. We can only do so much. Where's everybody else? This is where the media needs to go, hey, these are the questions that we need answered. We don't even get allowed into the press conferences. I can't ask Governor Lee about this because they didn't let me into the press conference. This is what the media is supposed to be asking about. These are the questions we need answered, not WSMV sharing their propaganda video. Just like, here's the propaganda video. No context. They just put it up on their TikTok feed, just amplifying the propaganda. So yeah, we are hard on the media around here because we have questions about what they think their role is in all this. Because if you think your role is just acting as a megaphone for the people in power, then give the job to somebody else. You're doing more harm than good doing that. That is not the last domino to fall. This morning, we now find out that Nathan Buttry, the first guy in the video, also who works at Altitude Ventures. Well, guess what? Stuart Mcwhorter is the Department of Economic and Community Development Commissioner for Governor Lee, and his father started Altitude Ventures, which is where Nathan Buttry worked. Well, now Nathan Buttry is the Assistant Economic and Community Development Commissioner underneath Stuart Mcwhorter. And from the sound of it, like this just happened. And again, questions that need to be asked. This guy now is getting paid with state money inside our government. So basically what it feels like is like Altitude Ventures is sort of becoming our Department of Economic Community Development while they are running a project, a billions and billions of dollars project that is benefiting the richest man in the world. And Governor Lee is just so giddy about it. He calls it the coolest thing, man. Coolest thing he's done since he's been here. Not helping workers, farmers, lowering prices, being buddy-buddy with the richest man in the world who couldn't even give him the time of day of showing up for this event. Total fucking corruption, Ryan says. Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well. It's just right there in plain sight. It's not even hidden. Who's going to say something about this? I mean, it's just crazy. They don't care if you know. What are you going to do about it? The question that I asked Senator Oliver, if this tunnel was being dug from the airport into Franklin underneath Williamson County, 10 miles. Do you think Mayor Ken Moore would have been involved? Do you think the Williamson County Commission would have been involved? It's just crazy that Nashville is being treated this way when it's the hub of economic activity in the entire state, when it subsidizes schools and roads and hospitals in the rest of the state. And Memphis obviously is being dealt with the same way when it comes to XAI by the same man. At least over there, they've got the mayors supporting the project. There's even more culpability spread around from city leaders there. But here, they're not even involved. It came out yesterday that Mayor O'Connell, I guess, had known about it a year ago, but then didn't hear about it again till recently. He basically said the council's not going to support this, and so therefore don't even bother, and so they've not been involved. But instead of saying, oh, well, the city doesn't support it, we're not going to do it, they went around them to the governor and got Governor Lee's support, and Governor Lee was happy to just railroad this right through. Now what, right? That's what I keep getting asked. I don't have a great answer for that, but I can tell you that what we're going to try to do is tell you what's going on so that you can ask these questions, so that you can know, so that you can pressure the media to ask these questions and have us not be the only ones asking. I know we're not media. I'm not media, right? What am I? I don't count. I'm biased towards the truth. They're biased too. That's what I say. Who is closer to the truth here when we're the ones asking these questions, when we're the ones lifting this up? And they follow us. I know they see these posts. Are they going to ask these questions? Are they going to do anything about it? Or are they too worried they're going to ruffle some feathers and lose access to the very people doing this corruption, to our state, to our cities, benefiting themselves? God only knows in what ways. Governor Lee keeps saying no cost to taxpayers, which we know is bullshit. But he obviously said to the Boring Company and Musk, I need to be able to say that this is no cost to taxpayers. So it's not like it's getting one of those $500 million incentives that was given to the Titans and whatever was given to Ford. They just gave a $1.6 billion tax cut to corporations. I mean, how many different ways does Governor Lee need to show you that he only cares about rich people? He does not give a shit about regular people. Forget Nashville and Memphis, anywhere, rural Tennessee either. He doesn't. And this is just the latest example of that. Governor Lee is termed out now, and here comes Marsha, and I guarantee you she's going to be even worse. You know, at what point does this go too far for people? Maybe never. But I will tell you that we are going to keep talking about this. Expose them all. Tennessee is so corrupt. Thank you for talking about this. You bet, Gidget. Political incest. What's next? State overreach. We have to protect our city, our charter. Yeah, we did see also, and Senator Campbell mentioned this, that at ALEC, Kevin Roberts, heads of Project 2025, which we know how that's going, said that Nashville should be dechartered for not bowing down to Trump enough. I know people are going to say that that's hyperbole, but like, how many times do the alarmists need to be proven right before people start to wake up and go, hey, there actually is nothing they won't do? Look at this. Look at what's happening here. I'm trying to present the questions to ask. We have just more questions than answers. But if you just zoom out, the richest man in the world is going to dig a tunnel to the airport for only his cars for hire. Public won't be able to use. He can charge whatever. He gets a piece of the action. If that gets built, I'm not convinced. If that does get built, eventually at some point, these may be robo-taxis. And now it's just these cars that are just funneling money out of Tennessee into Elon Musk's pocket. The tunnel is really just Elon to siphon money out of Tennessee. That's how you should think of this tunnel. It doesn't go from the airport to Nashville. It goes from Tennessee to Elon's pocket, just siphoning money out of our community, out of our state. These tourist dollars, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars out of our state into Elon's pocket more and more over time that he has control over, that he has exclusive rights to. God only knows how much he's making off of the building of the construction of this. They say no cost to taxpayers. Well, somebody's paying for this, right? Somebody's getting paid. I think it's fair to wonder what Altitude Ventures is getting out of this and why they are suddenly now becoming our Department of Economic and Community Development. Stuart Mcwhorter has some questions to answer. That guy should be in front of the media. Stuart Mcwhorter, know that name. Because these commissioners, they hide, right? Like you don't really know who these people are. They show up, they go before the committees, they get asked softball questions. Even when their answers are bad, their contracts get renewed. Like for instance, Core Civic, people dying on their watch, doesn't matter. Failing audit after audit, doesn't matter. Re-up. Underneath Frank Strada, the commissioner of Department of Corrections. Well, this is the Economic Community Development Commissioner, Mcwhorter. You probably haven't seen him very much. His father's company is behind this tunnel boondoggle. And now his assistant commissioner is being hired directly from that company. And all of this is against Nashville's will. A boondoggle vanity project. Beth says it's a slush fund. Absolutely. Keep at it with the questioning. No benefit to Tennesseans. And I'm going to give the people the last word here just as we head out.
We have the most caves in the U.S. Limestone, bedrock, a huge water table, a lot of rain per year. This is the wettest year we've ever had. This will impact taxpayers. There is a guarantee that there will be collapse.
All of these are canceled and inactive projects. Los Angeles, California, Chicago, Illinois, Fort Lauderdale, San Jose, and Australia.
Governor Lee is cutting backroom deals with billionaires, giving away public land while his constituents are needing real solutions. You all sit up there smugly knowing that you all made your decision already. I'm curious about how your pockets are being lined.
I used to work at Tesla. Has the Boring Company yet executed a project of this scale, a place like Nashville that gets 50 inches of rain in a year and not the 4 inches that Las Vegas gets?
Nashville is not for sale, especially for billionaires. He is the richest man in the world, who is also the biggest welfare queen in the world, that uses the government to get rich.
There's been no public comment. There's been no studies.
Why are we rushing this process? Why don't we have an impact study like we would for anything? Just because we are dealing with a billionaire, we don't care about the citizens of the city. Why are we giving a billionaire free land? Come on.
We are sick and tired of you ignoring us. We are not Gilead. We are not about to go back to any of the plantations or where your ancestors came from.
This is unfair. Please listen when we say we do not want this.
All in favor say aye. All right, the item passes. Lease is approved. Thank you, Commissioner.
Got fucked again.
That was not government.
That was not government, folks. He's absolutely right about that. The committee had made their mind up already. Thank God the people are fighting back, says Carolyn. You all know what's going on. In large part, I'm probably preaching to the choir right now. But look, the choir needs to know what's going on so that the choir can go talk to people who aren't in the choir. So that's what we do here at the Holler. And again, I go back to pressure the media to ask these questions. We need to know what Stuart Mcwhorter's role in all this is, why Altitude Ventures behind all this, what they get out of it, and why the Economic and Community Development Department is now hiring their executives. There's so much that needs to be understood about this before it moves forward, but it's already moving forward. And that's the way things work in Governor Lee's Tennessee. Thanks for following, and we'll see you next time.